June is Gun Violence Awareness Month. According to Michigan State Police, 1 in 3 violent crimes in Michigan involve a gun. And nationally, gun violence is the leading cause of death for young people. Joining us here today on First at 4 is Detective Sergeant Tyrone Booth, along with Flint Mayor Sheldon Neeley. And we thank you both for joining us today as we talk about getting the illegal guns off of the streets of Flint and the efforts your administration is putting forth to make that happen. Before we get to that, though, right before this segment here, we ran a story about what happened in Minnesota over the weekend, and you are no stranger to divisive, threatening political rhetoric, and you've had death threats as well. Does that story hit home for you? And when you saw that, how did you feel in that moment, knowing that you've been on the other end of some violent rhetoric toward you?
Well, it's definitely hits home, right? Not only for me, but for my wife, which is a state representative. And so, when we saw that happen and we saw the threats that come in, and we recently seen people do more threats at our personal residence, it is definitely troubling, but it's important to have law enforcement efforts, a full array of defensive tactics. We need a sheriff and a prosecutor. We need judges, we need police chiefs, we need patrol officers to make sure the environment is safe. When these things happen, and we see those things every day. Even in America, we have more mass shootings than we have days in the year. Yeah. So we know it comes, and we know it's real. And so it's very disheartening. But definitely, my thoughts and concerns are for my family and myself when these things happen, and also my neighbors and friends.
Yeah, so it's important for all of this politically motivated, according to Minnesota police. He had a hit list and things of that nature. Security important, a vital part of your job now?
Yeah, definitely. We definitely have to be able to have a level of awareness when we're going outside, just doing regular things, regular chores, cutting the grass and making sure that we're doing regular things like regular people, because we are that. We're residents of this community. We love our community. We're neighbors and friends. But definitely we have to be able to pay attention to what's going on in America, and these threats. We have to take them very, very seriously.
And now we'll turn our attention to the illegal guns that are circulating in communities all across America. Here in Michigan, thousands of illegal guns in circulation. Tell us about the efforts of your administration, along with the police department, to get some of these illegal guns off the streets.
Well, in 2021, we declared a gun violence emergency inside the city of Flint. We saw the trend, and we wanted to be proactive about taking guns off the streets. And one of the things that we have done as an administration, we take those guns and we destroy them. We make sure that they'll never be repopulated into an environment where they can harm people. And so we've done that. We've taken more than 3,700 guns off the streets, over recent years. And so we've seen a decline in violent crime as it relates to guns. It's still too high. We're still engaging in it. So we have a lot of good hard working men and women in the police department. Yeah. Sergeant Booth will tell you that we're working very hard to take those guns off the streets and out of the people's hands that would use them for nefarious reasons.
Yeah, and Sergeant Booth, thank you for joining us today too. You were right in the thick of it. Your department dealing with the people who have these illegal guns. Are you seeing on the streets a decline in arrests with people with guns? And at one point, you talked about the age of the people with the guns were, barely out of elementary school. Are you still seeing that?
We from time to time we do see that, but we're definitely seeing a decrease in terms of individuals that have firearms. Yeah. When we decrease the access to firearms, when we run special operations and put units out looking specifically for firearms and individuals carrying illegal firearms, it has an impact, and we see that in the reduction in crime.
Yeah. What can we, the community, do?
Well, one of the things that we need to do as a community is to make sure that the owners of firearms make sure that they're stored properly with gun locks, make sure that they're in a safe environment and not readily accessible to individuals that shouldn't have them, both juveniles and adults.
Yeah, and when you talk about gun locks, the Flint Police Department can even help in that effort if someone needs a gun lock. Tell us about what you have available there to help gun owners who want to make sure their firearms are safe.
Absolutely. We have gun locks available to the public free of charge, and you can always swing by the City of Flint Police Department at 210 East 5th Street and pick up a lock at the patrol desk. And also, gun locks are available at most of our community events that we have throughout the summer and throughout the year.
And so your efforts, Mayor Neeley, with getting these guns off the streets, they will continue throughout your administration. I heard Sergeant Booth talk about special operations, so there are some special targeted operations that are strictly for getting illegal guns off of our streets.
Absolutely. As you said, earlier, the number one cause of death amongst young people is gun violence. That's not natural. That's not a natural thing. So it's a sickness in America that we have to be able to say that we all need to push against it. So everybody of light thinking needs to come together and says no more gun violence. And we need to teach de-escalation tactics and skill sets, but also getting the guns and the weapons off the street.
Yeah, and again, we're going to ask Sergeant Booth just to tell us about the gun locks. Can people come to the police department? Is it something you fill out online and you send it to the house? Just what is the process of getting that free gun lock?
Certainly. We like to give those out in person. So individuals can stop by the City of Flint Police Department anytime and pick up those locks. We can answer questions about them. We can help them put the gun lock on the firearm that they own legally. So we like for them to come in so they have an opportunity to see officers face to face and talk more about proper storage and security of a weapon.
And I just want to mention, you heard Sergeant Booth say legally, so if you show up with your illegal gun, you may not leave with it.
That's correct.
Sergeant Booth, Flint Mayor Sheldon Neeley, thank you both for coming in and sharing with us during Gun Violence Awareness Month. And we, of course, wish you the best with your efforts to make our community safer and get the guns off the streets.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.